On-site emergency plan submitted to the factory inspector every 2 years. No, this on-site emergency plan you will be submissioning on the initial days. Once you have made your on-site emergency plan, you have to do the rehearsals on once in 6 months. Those reports have to be submitted. Then collection development of dimensions of the information. So here this rule applied to the industrial activity within the hazardous chemicals, which is satisfying the criteria, which is laid down in part 1 and schedule 1 and also column 2. And an occupier who has control of all the industrial activity, the terms and sub rules, and also the occupier while obtaining and developing safety data sheet as specified in schedule 9. So this collection dispensal information, it is nothing but like MSDS of the material. The occupier while obtaining or developing a safety data sheet as specified in schedule 9 in respect of hazardous chemicals handled by him shall ensure that the information is recorded accurately and also reflect the scientific evidence used in the making the hazardous determination in the case of any significant information regarding the hazard of the chemicals is available. So as per this MSIC rules, the organization has to prepare material safety data sheet MSDS as per the details mentioned in the schedule 9. Then import of hazardous chemicals. So in case of any person responsible for importing hazardous chemicals in India shall provide before 30 days as reasonably possible but not later than a date of import of concerned authority and also identified in column 2 schedule 5 of the information. So whenever you are importing any specific chemicals, you have to inform to the authority prior to 30 days of the import with this details. సో ఎప్పుడైతే మనం కెమికల్స్ని ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసుకుంటామో అప్పుడు మనము ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని బిఫోర్ 30 days కంటే ముందు ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేయాలి. ద నేమ్ అండ్ అడ్రస్ ఆఫ్ ది పర్సన్ రిసీవింగ్ ది కన్సైన్మెంట్ విత్ ఇన్ ఇండియా, హూ ఈస్ రిసీవింగ్ ది కన్సైన్మెంట్ అంటే ఎవరు ఆ మెటీరియల్ని హ్యాండిల్ చేసుకుంటున్నారు. దాంతోపాటుగా ద పోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంట్రీ ఇన్ ఇండియా అంటే ఇండియాలో ఏ పోర్ట్లోకి అది ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది, మోడ్ ఆఫ్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ఎక్స్పోర్టింగ్ కంట్రీ టు ఇండియా అంటే ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఏ కంట్రీ నుంచి ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ అవుతుంది. దెన్ ద క్వాంటిటీ ఆఫ్ ద కెమికల్ బీయింగ్ ఇంపోర్టెడ్, సో ఎంత క్వాంటిటీ మనం ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాము. కంప్లీట్ ప్రొడక్ట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అంటే ఏదైతే కెమికల్ మీరు ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసుకుంటున్నారో ఆ ఇంపోర్ట్కి సంబంధించిన కంప్లీట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇదంతా కూడా మనం సబ్మిట్ చేయాలి. Then power of central government to modify the schedule, this is not required. Now we'll see the schedules. If you go through the schedules, those are the rules as of now. So if you see the schedules here, they will give the quantities. Toxic chemicals means based on the LD50 and also LC50 concentrations. We have seen what is mean by LC50 and LD50. Lethal dose is called LD and lethal concentration is called LC. The concentration means which is the concentration of the chemical which is present in the atmosphere. If you go to the dose size, here you are giving a dose like an injection, or you are injecting to your body, or you are taking orally. So whenever you are exposing chemical through your air tract due to the respiratory system, that will be LC concentration. Whenever you are taking a chemical through oral, that will be comes under your LD50 concentrations. So based on this concentrations, those chemicals will be fall under toxic chemicals. If it is a flammable chemicals, so the flammable gases which is above 20 degrees and standard pressure, and ignition will be maximum mixture of 13% or less than the volume. Then extremely flammable liquids, the chemicals have flash point lower than or equal to 23 degrees centigrade, and also boiling point less than 35 degrees centigrade. Those category chemicals will fall under extremely flammable. Then very highly flammable liquids, the chemicals which have flash point less than the 23 degrees, and also the initial boiling point higher than the 35 degrees. I've adjusted that, thanks. And highly flammable liquids. So if it comes to highly flammable liquids, the criteria is chemicals which have flash point lower than the 60 degrees centigrade but higher than 23 degrees. And flammable liquids, the flash point higher than the 60 degrees but lower than the 90 degrees. This is the criteria for various kinds of chemicals. Then part 2 of list of hazardous toxic chemicals. These are the list of various hazardous chemicals as per the MSIHC rules. You can go through this list if you are any chemical you are using in this list. Then schedule 2, which is isolated storage at the installations other than those covered by the schedule 4. So here we have seen the quantities and threshold quantities. Ammonia, which is threshold quantities for the application of rule number 4, 5, 7 to 9 and 13 to 15. The threshold quantities in tons. So ammonia, it is very commonly used chemical in the chemical industries, which is 90 tons, liquid oxygen 200 tons, sodium chloride 25 tons, sulfur dioxide 20 tons, hydrogen sulfide 5 tons, hydrochloride 5 tons. These are the threshold quantities. If your company is storing any chemicals which are close to or equal to these quantities or higher than these quantities, you may fall under this MSIHC rules. Then schedule 4, list of hazardous chemicals for application of rule number 5 to 17, 5 to 7, rule number 5 and 7 to 15. ఏదైతే రూల్స్ మనకి రూల్ నెంబర్ 5 అండ్ ఆల్సో రూల్ నెంబర్ 7 to 15 అప్లికబుల్ ఉన్నాయో those are these conditions. For the purpose of defining the threshold quantity, the hazardous chemical in industrial installation, account shall be taken of any hazardous chemical which is in the part of any pipeline under the control of occupier, have control of the site which is within the 500 meters of the site and also connected to it, and at any other site under the control of same occupier, any part of the boundary within the 500 meters of the said site. And within 500 meters, if it is there, those rules are applicable under this schedule. See, these are the group wise toxic substances and their threshold quantities. Aldi carb, which is 100 kg, here they have given kilos with their threshold quantities. Here also you can go through the references, you can see whether your company fall under any of this category. So you are automatically lies applicable for this standard. Then schedule 4, which is talking about installation of production processing, inherent organic and inorganic chemicals. These are the various chemicals which will be fall under. Then schedule 5 is talking about the duties of corresponding authority. So here we'll have Ministry of Environment and also Chief Control of Imports and Exports, Central Pollution Control Board and Chief Inspector of Factories and their roles and responsibilities, and Dock Inspector and Chief Inspector of Mines and Chief Control of Explosives, etc. Then schedule number 6, it is an information to be furnished regarding the notification of the major accidents. So any major accident happens, based on this schedule, we have to give information to the authority, like how we have form 18 in the Factories Act, notification of accident. So here, in case of any major accident happens, so in this form we have to submit the details. Okay, here we'll have general data, name of the site and address of the manufacturer, registration number, license number, the nature of activity, then description of major accidents, what has happened, then emergency measures taken, etc. Number of people killed or injured or poisoned, all these things we have to inform through this application. Then information to be furnished for the notification of the sites. So what kind of information to be furnished for the site specific detail about your site detail? Again, name of the address of the manufacturer, then full postal address and also area of the site covered by the notification, then the date on which it is anticipated, the name and maximum quantities liable to of site each dangerous substances, and the organization structure, namely organization diagram, and also proposed industrial activity, etc. All these things will comes in. Then schedule 8, information to be furnished in the safety report. So this is the format for the submission of safety report to the authorities. So once you industry fall under this category, you are going to submit that information in this format. Okay. So one is description of industrial activity. So what is the type of activity you are performing? Then site and construction designs, the production zones, and also the description of all the processes you are doing. Then description of hazardous chemicals and information on preliminary hazard analysis. Description of the safety related units. Then information on hazardous assessments and description on information organization systems, etc. Then information mitigation of major accidents. Those are the data we will submit in the safety report. Then safety data sheet. This is known to everybody. MSDS, material safety data sheet and safety data sheet. So here we'll give all the details. Whenever if you're a manufacturer of any particular chemical, you have to prepare this material safety data sheet to your suppliers or to your consumers. So chemical identity and physical chemical data, then fire and explosion data, and reactivity data, health hazard data, and preventive measures, and emergency first aid and measures, and additional information, references, then manufacturer and supplier data, then disclaimer. These are the various details you will provide to your suppliers, to your suppliers in the sense where to whom you are supplying, to your customers. Sorry, not suppliers, your customers. Then format for maintaining records of hazardous chemicals imported. So these are the format. You have to maintain the information. So date and description, then details of the to be furnished on the on-site emergency plan. This is important. Very oftenly asked this details. What are the content available in the on-site emergency plan, or they'll ask you to try to mention what are the particulars in the on-site emergency plan. So you can write the details, name of the organization, key personnel of the organization responsible, and also outside organization if it is involved, who are not involved, type of accident, who is responsibility assigned, the details of liaison arrangements between organization, information on the preliminary hazard analysis, what kind of hazard ఏమేం చేసామంటే hazard analysis ఏమన్నా చేశారా, ఎటువంటి ప్రమాదాలు జరిగినాయి, and safety relevant components. Then details about the site, location of dangerous substances, uh, set of a key personnel and also emergency control room, then description of hazardous chemicals at plant site, then chemical quantities and also toxicological data, then a transformation, if any, which color is occurred, and purity of the hazardous chemicals, then likely dangers to the plant. In case of any likely dangers means the potential dangers or potential uh, instances. Then alarm systems and reliable measuring instruments, then continuous surveillance of operations, etc. So ఇందులో ఏంటంటే all kind of information with respect to the hazards and what kind of analysis you have done and what kind of emergency equipments which already available in your facility. Then details of the offsite emergency plan, so like type of accidents and releases to be taken into account, and organizations involved including in key personnel and also responsibilities and liaison arrangements between. Then information about the site including likely to locations of dangerous substances, personal emergency situations, and technical information such as chemicals and the physical characteristics of the dangerous and other substances, and identity the facilities and transport routes. So identity the facilities in the sense where and all these MEH installations are there and how they are transporting the chemicals and which route. Then contact for the further advice. Then communication links including telephone, radio, and standby methods. Then special equipment including firefighting materials, damage controls, etc. Then details of emergency response procedures. So how in case of any emergency response occurs, how they are going to respond and notify the public. Then evacuation arrangements. Then arrangements for details which are press in the media. Then long-term cleanup activity. Okay, that's all about these MSIHC rules. In this specific topic, we used to get mostly question on what is mean by major hazard accident installation or major accident. Then they may ask you for duties of authorities, and other question may be what are the type of content will be there in the safety report or on-site emergency plan, off-site emergency plan. This is the maximum scope, 6 to 7 questions you can read from this topic. You can make a notes of it, so that definitely you can able to attempt for sure. One 3 marks question or one 10 marks question will be there in this topic. Sometimes maybe they ask you 3 marks question as well as 10 marks question also. Okay, we are done with the today's topic. If you have any questions, we can discuss. You can put in chat box. Okay, fine. If no questions, we'll end the session for today. We'll meet in next class. Thank you so much. Happy weekend, and be safe. Don't go outside. Keep in home. Thank you. We have another 9 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop the session here. Thanks.